we weren't expecting to see Team Infused take that. Do you think there's any chance now from what you've seen so far?
There's always a chance. There's always an opportunity. Obviously, they blew like an 80-point lead for map number 1, but
this is retreat.
Frankly, if I'm on Infused, I'm spending the entire time talking over strats for that final S&D map. I'm not going to waste anything at all. So, you know, depending on what happens in this next hard point, I think Infused just needs to gear up and keep bringing the S&D game they had the first time.
We're completely wrong. It's Compound anyway.
Compound.
So maybe Infused do have a chance if it's going to be Compound.
Sub-oriented map. We're going to look to see, is Formal going to be able to do it? Vals, you can definitely see them on this map, but the close quarters hard points in the back corners of the map, Vals can struggle at times. So Formal's going to need to be the one to sort of solidify those leads for OG. And
I just changed my mind. Maybe Infused can take this. This series about to get interesting. Guys, as it stands, Team Infused 2-1 up in the series versus OpTic Gaming. For now, back over to our casters, Puckett and Mr. X.
Thank you, guys. Great analysis from all three. I think it's going to come down to Marky B for this game. You have OpTic Gaming playing another DLC map. If you're Infused, you got to strike here. If it goes game 5, Matt, I think it's a 50-50 toss-up after watching.
I think OpTic probably wins Solar S&D. They just would have so much momentum in this series. But something I actually want to take a look at, and you know, just scroll through some of the players a little bit. OpTic running 2 ARs on this map, and then you have the guys on Infused just going to run 1 AR and then 3 SMGs. I believe the last event we were at, we saw OpTic try this strategy on this map with the 2 ARs, and it didn't work, and they said they were going to go back to the old one. Evidently, still going to rock the 2 ARs, see if that comes back to haunt them yet again.
Well, I'm definitely going to keep the AR in the hands of Formal, and as I said, it looks like he's going to be rocking the ASM-1. Of course, the BAL was his starting weapon here, and he is going to get dropped. Scumpy was going to fall as well. 3 players from Infused picking up kills, make it all 4 as they're going to clear and now set up for Hill 2.
And if Infused realizes, you know, that OpTic's going to be running these 2 ARs, they can just keep running at them and just putting so much pressure and just force OpTic to switch. And they did a nice job getting control of this second hill. Not able to do it. It's pretty much going to be trades for most of these hills. You know, the 3rd and 4th hill, really important hills on this map. The team that controls those is going to win this hill. Bam.
Karma, only 3 kills so far, but he got 2 of them to clear the hard point now. He's got Infused in his face. Nice help from Formal over his shoulder, and there's Karma peeking out to take out Petey. Scump comes charging in with the ASM-1, and Krim is going to support from above. Great start for Krim. Best in the lobby at 10-4. Karma, he's the key player in this scenario, though. He's got to keep his teammates safe. Krim's going to go on the long flank as they'll give up the final 10 seconds. Here's honestly what I think is the new money hill. If you can set up perfectly in this hill, we have seen teams go on 40-point runs from inside this new hardpoint map.
And this would be huge as Infused is set up first for it. I mean, if they're able to hold this down, they put themselves in a great spot, because not only do you obviously get a lot of the time on this money hill, you get set up for the next one, which is one where you jump up top to those platforms. You can take pretty much a full 60 seconds on. So whoever controls this hill really puts themselves in a great position to win these games.
Marky B on the flank. His teammates got dropped in the front, though, so the pinch not there. OpTic only has to watch 1 entrance, and Krim is going to shut down every push. 2 from him, 2 for Scump is going to be good enough for 20 points in a row here for OpTic Gaming. 25 seconds remain as well, and they should be able to milk every last bit with the way their teammates are slaying outside. Karma, another 2 kills in the feed. Krim finally going to drop, but Scump is there to keep scoring.
Well, this is where having the 2 ARs really pays off. I mean, the long sight lines on the right-hand side of the map, and then if they push down towards the left, I mean, they're pretty much just jumping up top, just flying down at you. Pretty easy kills for an AR player to pick up. OpTic blows this one open. They're gonna have control for the next hill as well. And you saw these spawns come in for Infused. They were spawning so far out, not able to work together at all to try and make anything happen on that hill. Huge win for OpTic Gaming.
I thought this was gonna be a trouble map for OpTic. They were playing extremely well in the last 2 minutes. Now we'll take a look at Krim 6. He's gonna have 3 players flooding in. Stops the first, can't pick up the second. Formal is there though, and he does get the 2-piece. So all 3 chargers shut down. Formal now rotating out, picks up 1. Looking for a second, it's Urban flying through the sky. He's working with Petey now. Petey's gonna be contesting, now scoring. The nade's coming in though, and Urban can't land any of his shots. Marky B needs to get in to help right away because OpTic is pulling further and further away. This is getting out of hand now.
This is definitely gonna get out of hand pretty quickly. I think we're gonna go into the second half with about, 128 to 52 game. It's actually gonna be, a few seconds off there, but if OpTic plays like that in the second half, I mean, they're just going to run away with this game. If you're Infused, you just got to try and tie these first few hills, win that third and fourth hill, and then, you know, the final one, you're still going to need some time on this one as well. It's going to be very difficult for Infused to come back.
I remember looking up at the clock before the money hill, and we said it was going to be close and a big hard point to lock down. It was 44-37 at that point in favor of Infused. Since then, OpTic Gaming crushing. You look at the numbers, Crim 6 going huge from the opening minute, 21 and 13, Formal right behind them, and they're using 2 different weapons.
Yeah, and you see Crim on your screen just firing some shots, just trying to stay alive for as long as possible. This last hill, so difficult. I mean, you can just have players flying above you through those trailers. You really need the AR player to get out on that platform and just lock it down, and it's going to be Infused. Picking up some garbage time here at the end, but this score, Chris, is almost exactly similar. I believe OpTic was up, 152 to 80 something on Detroit. It's really similar to the same game that we saw in Detroit.
Difference maker there was Petey. Again, a very slow start to a hard point from Petey, just 11 and 20 after that death. Marky B, who was very consistent with the AR play on Detroit, not having as much luck with the ASM-1. He needs to get it going. On the other side of his team, you got Zero, though, really holding his own against some of the best ASM-1s. You got Zero, 22 and 18. He's definitely been their strongest player, but he desperately needs help.
Yeah, Petey's had a rough 2 last maps. I mean, Marky B, I think statistically finished with the worst score on their team, on Parliament, but, Petey struggled mightily in the first half. Now 11 and 22. They don't want to go into a Game 5 situation against OpTic Gaming. I mean, they're going to have all the momentum. If you obviously had the option, you would have put it away in Parliament, but you need to put it away here, and they weren't too far behind. I mean, this is the same exact situation they came back from on Detroit. A little bit harder on Compound than Detroit, but still possible.
Scump inside, continuing to score. Final 3 seconds. His teammates set up for the new hill. Karma getting tagged up already, and he is going to be forced back. Nice pressure as Zero is going to take over the HP. You're going to see him jump out, challenging Crim. Now Scump. Scump is going to clean him up. Urban is there to trade, though. Cleans up Formal. And it looks like Scump is actually going to survive his engagements. The 5 streak still holding strong. Finally going to be dropped. 3 down for OpTic. Formal all alone, and he will be cleaned. So, 82 points. Basically separating these 2 squads before you saw PD jump in. It's going to be about 70
It's a big hill for Infused, this one. I mean, you take the last 25 seconds, they're going to need to rotate early. I think you leave this hill probably in the next 5 seconds and start playing for that next one, because that's where, I mean, OpTic can really just kind of sit back, play for that next hill and win it. And it looks like 1 player from Infused, 1 player from OpTic going to be rotating towards that 3rd hill. Going to be a huge gunfight. Karma on your screen, going to win one against Zero. Has more players pushing for Infused on the right-hand side, but just that first initial gunfight, huge for first control for OpTic Gaming.
And now you can see why. You got Crim 6 inside with Scump once again. This is where they pulled away in the first half. They have all 10 seconds here on the new hard point. Continuing to lock it down. Karma falls in the back. Infused, though, all pushing from the same direction. They're not able to fan out their spawn so far away from this hill. Finally, the gunfights are being won, but Zero is dropped. PD and Urban break in, but for how long? 30 points remain here, and they definitely could bring this game back on the new hard point, but they got to keep the fights winning around the perimeter, and you can see the stack. OpTic Gaming is coming at them full force.
They needed to push through that hard point. I mean, they get control, and then they're just fighting from inside of it. It's great. You're going to get the time for this hill, but you're not going to get the spawns for the next one, and OpTic just kept spawning in the back. Too much pressure. Then they're able to flood. When Infused was trying to break that, that's when they needed to pinch. The first 1 or 2 times they tried to take control of the hill, they just flooded it from the front. They got slaughtered. They needed to pinch right away. They do it at the end. They get control for a little bit, but they don't push straight through the hill. OpTic still controlling those spawns, even though Infused picked up some time there. And this one looks like we could potentially be seeing a Game 5, Puckett.
I definitely think Karma is the unsung hero of this game. 23 and 25, the stats don't show it, but his rotations were stellar throughout. He got a lot of the first kills in transition, making sure his team had the better spawns. And you're going to see OpTic end this one before we get down to 120. It's going to be 250 to 137. Dominant performance here on Compound.
Huge. And like you said, Karma making some big plays. Those, 3rd and 4th hill in the 2nd rotation, he's able to get there a little bit early, pick up some kills on the right-hand side of the map, and then just stay alive. Just did a great job staying alive, locking those spawns down for his team to keep them through into that 4th hill. and OpTic runs away with that one.
His teammates are going very positive. Krim, 37, 26 plus 11 from him. You had Scumbet plus 9, a 1.14 from Formal as well. On the other side, Zero had a great game, held his own, 35 and 31 with the ASM1, but his teammates could not keep up. Game 5, though, is coming up. We have the tiebreaker, the decider on the other side of the commercial break. Another S&D can Infuse do it again.